This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
The Kingdom of East Anglia saw the birth of their greatest son, an Anglo-Saxon warrior destined to be a champion for the ages and a national treasure for all time.
Hey everybody, we're back once again, but this time we're at the midway point. Well, not really the midway point because we did 109 games, but actually when you get down from 59 to 50, you're at that point where now it's the cream of the crop. The next 50 the list was just impossible for me to almost put together because it was so tight trying to figure out what fits where for me. But without further ado, why don't we just get to the list and get going. At number 59 was a game that I originally had. It was in a little baggie like this. And now I have it in a box like this. And that's OWar. OWar is just a simple, down-to-earth war game that is just fantastic. I enjoy it immensely. I still break it out every once in a while. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking of breaking it out very soon and doing it on the channel because we just have that humongous set and it's glorious. I have so much for it. I have the old stuff, I got new stuff, I got even newer stuff. I can never just stay away from it. I think it's a fantastic game. At number 58 is a game from Games Workshop. It's one of the old box games. It's out of print now, but I spent many an hour up in Connecticut down in my basement playing this with my son and a couple of friends that we would have come over, and that's OWar. They were just some ridiculous battles. The ships were fantastic. It was all pewter cast and all that stuff, and we had all the expansions for it, and I just loved this game. And when I thought of definitely a top 100 game, it was definitely this, OWar. I wish they were reprinted. They kind of gave you something a little later in Dreadfleet, but it wasn't OWar. I always hoped that we'd get OWar back. At number 57 is probably one of the top games on Board Game Geek, and probably the top games of all time, and that's Twilight Struggle. Fantastic game. I don't get it to the table as much because you do need that second player, but it is great. It is just a GMT game that when I say it's one of their top sellers, top of the list type of games that you could just play with anyone. It's kind of that game that's for everybody, for the board gamers alike as well as war gamers, because it's basically about the Cold War. Fantastic game. At 56 is, well, I mean, let's just call it what it is. An Avalon Hill game, one of those Avalon Hill games that I absolutely love. I have a love for those old box sets, and that's Circus Maximus. Fantastic game. As a matter of fact, I bought a second copy unpunched just in case my old copy ever goes on me. So that's how much I love that game. At 55, this dropped quite a bit, and I think it's just because there's so much of it. I can never get to it, and it almost gets a little frustrating to some degree, and that's Shadows of Brimstone. This is at 55. I love this game. It's overwhelming, I think, at times. Great game, solid game. The guys at Flying Frog do a fantastic job with this game. I wasn't a big fan of the whole cowboy thing, but when they came out with the feudal Japan stuff, I thought that was fantastic, and I absolutely love it. But I'm really looking forward to the fantasy stuff that they're coming out with soon, which I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. At 54, this is a game with a company that I struggle with, because I've always had things when I got it in the box missing, and I made this video when I first started. It wasn't very flattering to this company, but they've come a long way with Hellboy and some of the other things that they do. I really think they do a fantastic job, and that's Star Saga. Star Saga is just good, plain and simple. Good. And with the adventure book that they got coming out, you can use all your Death Zone stuff in there, and it's just like Dungeon Saga. I just absolutely love it. Again, the quality isn't the greatest. You know, it's not the big thick boards, and the models are great. It's the gameplay, and that means more than you can imagine in a lot of things. The gameplay is fantastic. At 53 is a game that I hope they bring back. I really do, because it's just one of those games. When you talk about Games Workshop and you talk about the 40K lore, and then you add spaceships, Battlefleet Gothic just stands head and tails above things. A fantastic game. A game I love, and I just hope they bring it back. It's just one of those games that I highly, highly, highly suggest, and I can tell you right now, it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience for sure. At number 52 is Dungy Quest. Now, this game means a lot to me, especially a certain copy of it, the original copy, that has gone all the way out to Seattle and made its way back to me. It's a fun, heartless game that you are going to die more times than you can imagine. And I just think playing it solo sometimes and playing it with others, just knowing when to get out of the dungeon before the sun comes up, it's just one of those all-time great games, and I absolutely love it. I think it's fun. I was never a fan of the rock, paper, scissors part, but I always played it with the alternate rule where you can use the die, and that works as well. At number 51 is a game that doesn't get as much love as it should, and that's Pathfinder the card game. I think Pathfinder the card game is fantastic. I absolutely love it. It gives you the feel, the art's beautiful, and it's something that, you could just throw to the table. There's so many box sets, so many expansion packs to it, and it's just a fun experience where you build up your character and you move on, and just a fantastic game, and I really enjoy it. Finally, rounding out this part of our list, and number 50 is Lock and Load. Lock and Load Publishing comes out with some fantastic war games. Really, really good stuff, and Heroes of Normandy and all the things that come with it are just fantastic. The gameplay is superb. It's easy to teach, easy to learn, and just all in all, a great experience. And I enjoy it more than you can ever imagine. It makes it at 50 because just imagine that there are 49 more games that are just mind-blowing, to me at least. And you're going to see so many things coming up, but definitely this is in my top 100. It's a fantastic game, and I don't think you can ever be disappointed playing it, that's for sure. And some of the solo rules are fantastic. All in all, just great. I really love it a lot. So there we go, 59 to 50. Whew. Now the hard part. This is where it really got tough, and that's from 49 to number 1. And there are definitely some changes, and don't think the game that you think is going to be number 1 is number 1, because it's not. So, without further ado, folks, we'll see you next week when we do 49 to 40 and business starts to pick up. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob.
The end of the game, and you could get this from Miniature Market, right, Grandpa?
You can get this from Miniature Market. That's right.
Yeah, everything you need. Bye.